truth is, guys, if you want a better life, the only way is to lock in and focus. That's the only way you're going to be able to achieve the goals you're setting out to do. Now, I remember about 3 years ago, I met this guy in the gym and he told me he had an online business, and instantly I was just fascinated at the idea that you could make money online. Just remember just being so intrigued that I asked him what sort of business it was. He told me that he had an e-commerce store and it was in the pet niche. He was making roughly about $600 a day. And I just couldn't comprehend that you could actually make money online yourself without a boss. Just remember that night I went home, opened a Shopify account, and the rest is history. That was my first entrepreneurial business. Now, a lot of you guys always talk about starting a business, and what this basically does, it just releases a bit of dopamine in your brain, which actually tricks you into thinking that you've achieved the goal. You may start for a few days, but then you'll take a break and lose momentum. Now, it's very important, guys, when you start a goal or you start to learn a new skill, that you do not stop. You continuously pursue the goal with everything you've got. Now, you should never take more than 2 days off. It's okay to take a day off, but never two. When we're actually setting goals for ourselves, we need to associate a pain point with the reason for the goal that we are taking on. Now, a lot of people say they want to learn jiu-jitsu because it's the trend, and then they'll start learning jiu-jitsu. What they usually find is they like the idea of wanting to learn jiu-jitsu, but when they're actually doing jiu-jitsu, they don't actually like doing it. So it's very important that you identify that pain point of the goal that you're trying to achieve. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit of a backstory. Now, the reason for me wanting to be an entrepreneur is I remember being on a building site, working my day job as an electrician, and I was working for this guy. And I just remember he was asking other guys if they wanted to work Saturday and earn double time, and I never got asked. And I just remember being so annoyed at the fact that I didn't get to choose how much money I earned. It was up to somebody else who may or may not like me to decide how much I earned for that week. And I just remember being just so frustrated and annoyed. Like, I hated this guy. He was like stealing from my pocket. He was not enabling me to be able to earn the money I wanted to earn. And it was just really frustrating. And I just remember going home that night and I just felt like powerless. I just felt like, you know, how am I going to be able to control what I earn? And I think I was always searching for that idea of being able to earn off my own back. And sure enough, I met this guy in the gym, as I mentioned before, and he told me about his e-com store. And that was my pain point, and that was my reason to pursue the online business. For you to fully enable yourself to commit and focus, you need to have a pain point or a desire for the goal that you're setting out to attain. Now, when it comes to goal setting, you want to decide what goal you want to go after. So for a lot of people, it may be that they're living paycheck to paycheck and they want to earn more money. So an online business might be the best thing for them. Or in a lot of cases, you may be someone who earns a decent amount of money in your day job, or you may already have a business and you're looking to start a family and you're single. So you think to yourself, if I could get in better shape and look more attractive, that would significantly higher my chances of meeting my dream girlfriend or boyfriend. So you need to identify what goal you want to go after. And another thing to take into consideration is if you're going after a body, a business, and a relationship, you've got to think of it this way. You are scattering your focus around multiple goals, and this is never good because you need to be pinpoint laser focused on one thing. Where attention goes, energy flows. So it's really important that you pick a goal that makes you tick, which you are able to get up every single morning, excited, ready to attack. Now, when you work out what goal you're going to go after, you have to align your habits with that goal. So with myself, I have to ask myself the question, if me coming home from work after a 10-hour day working as an electrician, if I eat junk food, I'm already going to be tired. Is that going to help me perform better when I'm working in the evenings? Or is it going to take away from what little energy I have left? So you need to ask yourself this question. If you are trying to build a body of your dreams because you want to find an attractive partner, you need to say to yourself, is me having 3 takeaways a week, is that bringing me closer or further away to my goals? So you need to align the habits with the person that you want to be. A little bit of a framework that I like to use is I like to envision the person that I'm trying to aspire to be. And then I ask myself, does this person complain when he's stuck in traffic and waste pointless energy? Or does he just sit there, listen to a podcast, relax, accept that he's stuck, and just wait for the traffic to pass? So you need to incorporate this in your own way. So that's the sort of level I'm taking it to gain an unfair advantage while achieving my goal. Another thing you need to look at is your daily routine. So I like to use my Google Calendar and I like to mark out the time spaces that I have free. So I tick off the time that I'm in work, that I can't work towards my goal, and then I see what I'm left with. And this is just a great way to make sure that I get everything done that I need to do. Now, whatever you're setting out to achieve, it's very important that you spend at least 1 hour a day learning the new skill, building the business, building the body. I've got a little statistic for you. So if you were to spend 100 hours, you would be in the top 5% in the world for that said thing that you're trying to achieve. So if you think 1 hour is not enough and you're not going to get results, then you need to think again, because small improvements over a long period of time have great results. Now, relationships. This can be friend groups or it can be romantic relationships. Now, for myself, in the past, I've been in relationships with a girlfriend or girlfriend, should I say, which weren't necessarily good for me. Not saying they were bad people, but we used to argue a lot, and you kind of you like being with them, but you know you're not going to be with them forever. And having a relationship is time consuming and it can be a time suck. And this is no knock against them. You know, obviously a relationship is a two-way thing. So if you're in a relationship with a girl and she likes to spend a lot of time watching Netflix in the evening and going for expensive dinners on the weekend, or even going on expensive holidays that you don't necessarily need, you need to ask yourself the question, is this benefiting me? Because achieving a goal is extremely hard. When I worked on my e-commerce business, it took me 9 months of not making any money, and some weeks even losing money. And I had to put all my energy, all my funds that I had available to me into that business. Now, I did have a girlfriend at the time, and as a result, we did suffer and we did end up breaking up. Because what usually happens is you find they get used to you spending these evenings watching Netflix. And if you've been doing that for maybe 3 or 5 years, if you turn around and say to them, look, I'm starting this business, I'm not going to be able to spend this time with you anymore, they're not going to like that. They're not going to like that deep down. They may be okay with it, but it's going to have a bit of a strain on your relationship. So you need to ask the question of yourself, is this relationship really what I want, or is achieving my goals what I want? And I'm going to be real with you. When you get to a successful point in life, you're going to have a lot more offers than you do at the moment. And this is just the way the world works. You know, especially as a man, when we don't have much to offer, sometimes we kind of take what we can get. But you need to ask yourself, if I'm going to build this business and I'm going to be a millionaire one day, am I going to have better options than what I have now? And if you genuinely believe in yourself and you are going to hit this goal and you are going to be a millionaire, you're going to have more options. So it's something to take into consideration. And maybe you're with somebody who on a low key disrespects you, They may not be abusive to you or nasty to you, but they may call you an idiot, or they may laugh at you when you say you're going to start this business. And deep down, subconsciously, that's going to take away from you. You want to be around people who want the absolute best for you, because there's going to be times when you're feeling that you want to burn it all to the ground. You need someone there to pick you up and say, come on, you can do this. If they're disrespecting you on a low level, you don't need them in your life. You would be better off on your own. Okay, the next point is very important when setting out to achieve this goal that you have chosen. So you need to have a routine and a schedule in place. Now, I go to the gym. I've been going since I was 15 years of age, and I like to think that I've made significant improvements since then. The problem is, when you go to the gym, you've probably seen them, we've all seen them. There are people that go every single week, maybe 4 or 5 times a week, and they always look the same. They never look better. Now, this is because they don't have a training plan. So you need to make sure that you are tracking everything you are doing on the way to achieving the result that you want. Now, these people who go to the gym and they just decide that they're going to train arms today, chest tomorrow, a little bit of legs tomorrow, they're not progressively increasing the weight or the reps. They're just going to the gym, going through the motions, tricking themselves to thinking that they're a gym person, and they're not making any progress. So if your goal is to get in shape, I would strongly suggest that you get a training plan. Now, there are a number of apps on the internet which are like $30 a month. I use one personally, and it has been such a game changer for me. Reason being, I can track the weight and the repetitions that I'm doing, and it gives me a structured plan that I follow throughout the week. You need to make sure that you're in routine. And when I say routine, you need to be going to bed at the same time every night, and preferably waking up the same time every morning. And you need to have that time space where you are working towards your goal penciled in every single day. You need to say, right, I'm getting home from work at 5 o'clock. I'm going to go to the gym. I'll be home at 6:30. And then from 6:30 to 9, I'm going to work on my goal. And you need to put that in your calendar, and you need to do it every single day. You can't miss it. Structure leads to freedom. And when you have a routine and a structure in place, it eliminates decision fatigue. Now, this is why monks wear the same clothes every single day, because they wake up in the morning and they don't have to waste the brain power on what they're going to wear today. So remember, structure will bring you freedom, and it will also bring you results. Now, you may be thinking, Ben, this sounds really boring. I've got to have a routine and I've got to stick to this structured plan, and it's going to be monotonous and I don't want to do it. Well, I'll tell you something for sure. If you stay in the same job, it is likely that you will earn the same amount of money for the next 40 or however many years you're in that job for. So you need to ask yourself the question, what monotony am I going to choose? One that's going to bring me financial freedom, the body that I want, or the structured routine that you live in anyway, doing a 9 to 5? You need to ask yourself that question, because at the end of the day, you need to choose your heart. Lastly, remember your why. I love this quote. Have a strong enough why that can bear any how. So you need to ask yourself the question, why am I setting out to achieve this goal? Now, I'm not saying that you should do this, but I do have a hate list. And that hate list, I just use it just to propel me forward when I feel like I am struggling. When I'm laying in bed in the morning and I don't want to get up to work and go to the gym, I just think of my hate list. I think of all the people in the past that have done me wrong, who don't think I can achieve this goal, who laugh at me, and I just think how much I want to stick it to them. This is the most powerful thing you can use. And at the end of the day, when you're starting out and you don't have many resources, you need to use what you have available to you. And having a strong enough why will bear any how.